In today's video, I'm going to be talking about why your Apple Watch doesn't ring. And just like a lot of times on this channel, when I upload a video in regards to a real and legitimate search topic that people go ahead and search on YouTube, and there are multiple things that people could mean by that. And I'm just going to cover all of the things that come to my mind, and I'm going to answer or provide some explanation on solution to it. So let's just get into it. Most importantly, you could mean that the Apple Watch doesn't create any sort of sound in response to certain notifications or some other things that should trigger the speaker of the Apple Watch, which apparently doesn't work and that doesn't happen. There are always two sides to a problem, usually for this kind of technical stuff, and especially for the Apple Watch and iPhones, and that is the hardware side or point of view and the software. So the problem can be either in one or in the other. So from the hardware perspective, it can happen that the physical speaker that is put inside of the Apple Watch simply stopped working, and the explanation could be whatever, perhaps some exposure to whatever materials, to water, sand, dust, or something, while the resistance it has been impaired and the Apple Watch couldn't resist the water completely, or whatever the explanation is, simply that the speaker doesn't work. In order to find that out, you have to try out something that should trigger the sound 100%, and if it doesn't, you are sure that the fault is in the physical speaker. The best way is to go to the settings right on the Apple Watch. So unlock the Apple Watch, go to settings, and right there in the main section, you should be able to find the section called Sounds and Haptics. And the first slider, the first thing that pops up is the slider for volume. And just tap the right volume icon to increase it, and you should hear some sort of clicking sound. And if you can't hear that, that means that the sound is coming out of the speaker, and therefore it must work, right? By the way, guys, if you're new on this channel, that means that you haven't watched any of my previous videos, or even if you did, the better, because you probably don't want to miss the next uploads, and you can do that or ensure that by clicking on the subscribe button. That doesn't mean that you're going to watch every single video of mine, but every time an interesting video for you personally pops up and I upload it, it's going to appear on your YouTube page. So it only is beneficial for you in a way. So consider doing that, and let's continue with the video. So this would be the hardware point of view. Like I say, if you try this out and if it works, the speaker is fine. If it doesn't, then you should investigate further, and well, it's not really good from this point of view, because probably and most likely the speaker for your Apple Watch and the one that is put there doesn't work. But if the fault is in the software, then you should make sure that other things are set correctly. Like, of course, you have to make sure that the Apple Watch isn't silent. Like, if you swipe up on the home screen, you shouldn't see the red ring icon. Of course, it should be unchecked. It should be crossed, because if it's red, then the Apple Watch is on silent and it's not gonna get any sound when you receive text or whatever. Then you should also make sure that the Apple Watch is not in the theater mode, because that is also kind of similar. It just makes sure that the Apple Watch doesn't light up when you flick your wrist, so it also doesn't light up and doesn't produce any sound when you receive a text message. So it is a similar thing, because a lot of times you may be like, you don't have the silent mode turned on, but you have the theater mode, which is kind of similar and it does the same thing for us. So make sure that both of these things are set up correctly. Also, in the same slider settings that we just looked at before for the hardware point of view, also make sure that the sound is loud enough so you can hear it, because there may be sound coming out of the Apple Watch, but if it's so like really, I mean, if it's not that loud, of course you're not gonna hear it. Like, that is obvious and common sense. So yeah, not making the Apple Watch silent or quiet is the key here. And also make sure that the notifications are set up correctly, and for this I would advise you to go to the Watch app on the iPhone and go through the apps one by one to ensure that the notifications make their way to the Apple Watch so the Apple Watch can ring. And that's the point that you want to get to. You want to make your Apple Watch ring, like I say, and if you don't get any notification, it's just not going to. And the same thing for phone and all of the stuff. if you actually mean ringing as if for a phone call and you would like to solve the problem where your Apple Watch doesn't get the notification, doesn't get a screen of a receiving phone call where you can accept it or decline it, then that's a completely different thing, because you have to make sure that the Apple Watch is in the range with the iPhone. You have to make sure that the Bluetooth is turned on. You also have to know some things, like if you have a cellular Apple Watch, you don't need to have the iPhone. And if it's set up with the eSIM, it can operate on its own, obviously, but if it isn't working, then it has to be in range. If it isn't a cellular Apple Watch, then of course you have to make sure that these conditions are met. Because if you go to the settings or you go to the Watch app on the iPhone, the one that is paired to the Apple Watch, and go to the phone things, there isn't really many things. Like, of course, you have to make sure that the sound is turned on for the ringtone, because in that case it's not going to ring, it's only going to be silent. And you can also enable or disable the haptics. And for the things like voicemail and alerts, then you have the Miramar iPhone and custom. So set it up however you want, so you can allow notifications, you can turn them off, or do stuff with it, like the grouping can be different just for the Apple Watch. And yeah, it's up to you, so make sure to go ahead and try it out however you want. Okay, that would be about it. I would say that this would be the end of the video. If you enjoyed it or found some value in it, then just make sure to subscribe or hit the thumbs up if you like the video for more content like this. Make sure to stick around, because I upload videos like these a lot of times, so even like 3 or 4 times per week. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Thanks a lot for watching. See you guys later.